Something that is probably not well known about me is my enjoyment of management games, especially park management games. Also, ever since I was a child, and even including now, I've always found dinosaurs and prehistoric life quite interesting, so what better game to play than Jurassic World Evolution? It seems recently that there's been some stir about the possibility of a third installment to the series, and it piqued my curiosity quite a bit. So after doing some digging and watching some other videos over the matter, I think I have a pretty large combination of reasons that could show a chance of the third game actually being released. And I may even have a believable target of when it could be released. Now before I continue on with this video, I would just like to say and emphasize that this video and its contents are completely theoretical, meaning that it's not a leak, it's not fact, I don't know anything, and it should not be taken as such. I am just simply trying to put two and two together on whether or not we could be getting a third Jurassic World Evolution or not. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Now first off, I would like to go over all the reasons that would show the possibility of a third Jurassic World Evolution being released. Just to get this out of the way, I may be a little biased towards the reasons for it being released, so just keep that in mind. So the first reason is time increments. Jurassic World Evolution 1 was announced on August 20th, 2017 with a trailer on YouTube, and was later released on June 12th, 2018. Between 2018 and 2021, when the second game was announced and released, there are many DLCs, dinosaur packs that were given, until ultimately the next game came out. On June 10th of 2021, Jurassic World Evolution 2 was announced, and then was released later on November 9th, 2021. Since then, there have also been many DLCs and dinosaur packs, some going with Jurassic World Dominion, some going with a show on Netflix, and some for the original Jurassic Park movies. Notice there's a 3-year gap between both games. Now, although that wouldn't be too big of a deal otherwise, I have a theory kind of behind that. Summer 2025 is when the new movie is being released, on July 2nd to be exact. The first game was announced 1 year, and it was released almost exactly a year later. That is what I think would most likely happen with the third game. To coincide with the new movie, it would be announced this summer, summer of 2024, but it would not be released till late summer or maybe even fall of 2025 to coexist with the new movie that's coming out. That would also be a 3-year gap between 2021 and 2024. Of course, the game wouldn't be released till 2025, but since the first game was announced a year earlier before it was released, that doesn't mean that they couldn't just do it again. The second reason is that Jurassic World Evolution 2 was okay, it was good, but it wasn't perfect. And a quick disclaimer is I actually don't own, nor have I ever actually played the second Jurassic World Evolution, which is crazy, but just hear me out. I was waiting to see what it would actually become, like what it fully would be. I didn't just want to hop on the bandwagon right away just to see what would happen. I wanted to wait before I actually made the purchase. And because of all this news coming out now, I'm actually still planning on not getting it. Because if a third game comes out, why get the second one if the third game is just going to be, hopefully, as perfect as they can make it? So if you feel that this completely discredits my opinions on the game, that's fair, but then just ignore what I have to say about it for this reason, for reason 2. But I have seen plenty gameplay videos and trailers and all the new DLC packs and dinosaur packs, and I've seen a lot over it, basically. I've seen a lot over the game to kind of have a good understanding of what it's like the campaigns and all the missions and all that, but I did not actually ever get my hands on the actual game. But I do own and have played the first one, so I know all the ins and outs of how it really works, I just don't actually own the game. Now on to the actual reason. Jurassic World Evolution 2 was good. It was very good. It was a wonderful surprise too. I don't think many people were actually really expecting it until it just the trailer randomly dropped one day in the summer. And they're still adding more and more content, which makes it even better, especially since they're actually listening to their players and adding stuff based on what their players want, not just random stuff that corporate wants. I feel like Frontier does a really good job with that. However, that doesn't mean that it's perfect or even really close to perfect. And perfect is a interesting term in this case, because of course nothing will ever be perfect. There will always be stuff that someone doesn't like that most other people like, or vice versa. Some fans also think that there's more that could be added to the game besides just constant dinosaur packs or 1 or 2 attractions. But that's not bad in any way. I love dinosaur packs. I would love if they freaking added them all the time. So we all know Frontier listens to their fans, and very intently at that. So they know what could be added to make the game as close to perfect as it could be, which they couldn't do in the second game because the second game already came out. Some of these things that players want could change the fundamentals of the game. They would have to go back so far in the code to add it in, it just wouldn't be worth it anymore, because it'd be a whole new game. So this could push them to making a new game, potentially. Since they made a second game based on wanting to change things from the first, who says that they won't do it again with a third game to change it from the second? Reason 3 is sales. The third reason is quite simple yet telling, and that is sales. Jurassic World Evolution is Frontier's most profitable endeavor, and time is telling that this will probably continue to be the case. According to the Frontier's interim financial results from the previous year and for this present year, the graph which shows the sales versus time correlation shows a great growth for revenue when it comes to both Jurassic World Evolution and Planet Zoo, along with Planet Coaster and Odyssey. Jurassic World Evolution 2 looks to have a great future, as it is almost as high as Jurassic World Evolution 1, but only being out for almost half the time, which is quite amazing. However, it seems that those are really the only games that seem to be performing on such a level that Frontier could call profitable. Even their headlines unfortunately show that the revenue was lower than expected from Frontier's new games, and the operating costs became higher, which makes the games less than financially adequate. Also on the same page, the eye-widening sentence of having 3 new games planned for 2025 through 2027 is kind of another spark of hope for a third Jurassic World Evolution that could possibly be on the way. Also, real quick, as of recording this video, the rumored PC game that was being made for console turned out to be Planet Zoo Console Edition, which is cool, but it puts that mystery to rest. But I just thought I'd mention that, so yeah. Now, reasons for why I wouldn't be surprised if Jurassic World Evolution 3 never got created and is not being planned or is being developed in any way. The first reason is just the overuse of the brand or the game franchise. Now, even if Jurassic World Evolution is the top seller for Frontier, I think that they understand how it's better to just stick with what you got than try to make some quick cash by throwing out a half-baked game that could potentially ruin the entire franchise and also just make Frontier look bad. So I feel that this could make them just stick to 2 games instead of trying to make a third to maximize sales as much as possible, which could look somewhat bad depending on how you look at it and depending on how good the game actually is. The second reason is that 2 is just the final one. It's pretty easy, but quite a good reason, to be honest. I mean, if they scrap making a new game and just use 2 for here on out, that would make sense. Adding more and more content, like even for the new movies and shows and such, could also be pretty viable. This would make sense both financially and logically. It would be a little sad, but because I really want a third game. But of course, it's not up to me. So, I mean, but the fact that they added so much content to the second game already shows that they aren't just going to leave this game to start a complete new one. Since they put so much into it, they're probably just going to keep adding more and more instead of just dropping it and just coming up with something completely different, completely brand new. Again, I don't secretly know any of the background happenings of Frontier, but from what I've seen, it's a 50-50 for either a third game being released or never being created. And I guess time will be the deciding factor, and we'll just have to wait and see. In my personal opinion, Frontier makes a third game, they add more content and all the extra stuff everyone wants, which I'll explain later in another video, by the way, which then makes more people buy the game, since it's basically like perfect for everyone, which would then lead to Frontier making even more updates or adding more content or more dino packs or whatever, which then would lead to a cycle of constant revenue for Frontier, constant enjoyment, entertainment, and excitement for the fans and players. Pretty easy to see how awesome that would be for both parties. So that would be the best outcome ever. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate a like, and if you subscribe, that would also be pretty awesome. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I hope there's a third game. I don't know anything, but I hope. But take all this with a grain of salt, because it probably won't happen. But anyways, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you on the other side.